Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, even though I probably should stop talking about the whole situations with what as far as how they did with the last couple of video blogs I had done in the past 2 months. But I think as of now, it seems like everything is kind of resolved in some ways. That now I might have him clean with all that. That if that I still wanted to be in a relationship with that one guy, Drew, but also leaving the door open for him to kind of come in when he needs to come in. Not that I was ever being pushover or anything of that sort, but it was the fact is I was just not in a rush for it. It's just for me, it seems like that it'll happen with any of these guys. That it's just simply they just have to take their time to get to know one another. And there was always these people on Bear 401 or Bear WW or Bigger City that keep moping about how they can't find the one and all that, but then the whole reason that they're having this sort of problem in the first place is because of the fact that they put so much energy on on it, and that they're desperate, and then the fact that they were just wallowing in their own self pity about it, and that they're scaring every potential guy away for some reason. They don't really want someone who's going to wallow in self pity in some way, but they don't really want someone who's super cocky to the point that they're just avoiding any kind of uh, insecurities or vulnerabilities, that sort of thing. So it's kind of one of my little posts I said on LiveJournal that I just believe that there are people that are like that are just simply doing it out of avoidance, of the issue. And then I think it's just people that are like players or jerks are just that way. That they're just avoiding the issue, avoiding the heartache, avoiding all that, rather than just being an adult and deal with the heartache and all that sort of stuff. But I just had to believe it was just most of these people are just that way because of that they couldn't handle the emotional aspect of relationships. And then here I was talking about that sort of thing about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, as far as that goes, I was being all philosophical about all that. And I think in some ways at that time I was just having a whole lot of hope that maybe things with Ricky were going to turn around at that point. But I think it didn't because of, I don't know what it was. I think maybe it did try to, but maybe I think it was started to drift apart from him in some ways, But I hadn't really had much of a connection with Ricky in the first place, only because of all the stuff that I kind of mentioned beforehand about Dad being in my way, Matt being a super duper clinger, Eloy being jealous, and I think in some ways maybe it was just my wild oats that I wanted to sow. And all that sort of stuff had kind of gotten in the way of something, And as well as maybe even hesitance from that, But I think whatever all it is, the combination, had kind of cost that sort of relationship. But then I think it was just, as I kind of stated on my last journal about a year and a half ago or so, that I wasn't really feeling a whole lot bad about breaking up with Ricky, and that in some ways I think I just had to sacrifice that kind of relationship with him or somebody like him at the time in order to get what I wanted for the next one, where I won't have somebody like dad in a way. I mean, dad or mom in a way, they were at least someone who wanted to be with me, but didn't really had a good reason of wanting to be with me, other than that it's just like how I look or whatnot, and then didn't care for like my personality, the way, I mean, my hopes and dreams and career goals and all that sort of stuff, and hardships and all these other little things. They just simply just wanted me because I look cute to them or something like that. That was the whole thing that happened with Matt. Although I figure if it was like possible for everybody to see Matt's side of the story, as far as that goes, he probably would have said that how unfair I was, and that he just wanted to get to know me a little bit better, or that sort of thing, but he just didn't act like he wanted to get to know me. To start off, he acted like he just wanted to go out with me. Like the minute I log off, the minute I'm free, that he could probably just drive down to my house and start having a date just like that, without actually getting to know me first, without actually having my number or whatever, that sort of thing. I mean, come on. That was one of the things that I just still bothers me to this day as far as that goes with Matt. And yet, somehow, I just kind of wish he would have just apologized for acting such a borderline psychotic little stalker, So, anyways, I think as far as how everything has seemed to come now that it's already like resolved as far as this one issue there, I kind of realized that I had to not run away from all this sort of little problem, It was just that one dream that I kind of posted on my live journal about that, that I was like on the run, and then I got caught, but or not unless it could be the other way around. It could be a reflection of something else, It could be like the other people that can't really run away from me, and that sort of thing, If that's how those dreams are usually meant to tell us about things as far as our subconscious goes. They always have these such huge interest in that because I was wanting to at least interpret what they were and what my subconscious was telling me about things, Because I had all through life had all these dreams of certain things and then just didn't know what they represented, and I kind of wanted to interpret them for myself at least, and it wasn't until about 8 years ago when I found that whole dream doctor site, and that I was seeing all the different interpretations of the dreams and seeing what certain things in the dreams represented, whatever was like our whole thoughts and emotions that were like floating around in our subconscious, and they come up to the surface in our dreams, At least signaling what we were thinking, what we were feeling, or what is ahead of us, or what might be ahead of us, that sort of stuff. There were some people that kind of believe that their dreams could be a predictor of some sorts, And to put it in one example was the whole thing with President Lincoln, how it was about a week before the assassination, he dreamt about attending a funeral, his own funeral. And that's one of the other little things that I probably should have mentioned, And as well as like the lucid dreaming, But as I said before, it's just that I kind of see it as more of a scientific kind of thing, but not some sort of hokey dokey New Age sort of thing. I think it was kind of okay to have this sort of belief in the New Age sort of stuff, but not to take it all way too seriously. About the astral projections, chakra levels, and that sort of stuff. I thought all that was kind of fine, but for them to like take it way too seriously and eat, breathe, and all that is just kind of seems to be kind of ridiculous to me, you know. So, anyways, as I kind of stated, as far as on one of my dreams was just about all that, having to learn that I can't really like run away from some of my problems with people, and then I have to go and deal with it, and it was kind of like around last night that I kind of already finally like said something to Drew about that I still kind of wanted him and still wanted to be in that kind of relationship with him, but only if he's ready to do that, and only if he's willing to do so, and otherwise I'm just gonna forget about it, at least for now, it's just to have more patience than other people, You can call me crazy, but it doesn't matter. It is not like he hasn't really totally messed up on me before, I've always kind of considered that he was just going through some things and just needed time to figure out what he wanted to do, that sort of stuff. And the fact is, at least as far as what Drew goes, at least he acted like he wanted to be my friend and wanted to get to know me and all that sort of stuff. We were doing it and all that in my bedroom, but I hate to have to go around and say that, but that's where it was. But I kind of felt like I needed to be alone with him first before I could start introduce him to Mom and Dad and my brothers, as well as going around out here, as far as any of the little places that we have, places that are over here, as well as introducing to my friends. I needed to have this alone time with him first. Even if it was just sex, at least at this point that I could be myself around him and all that, and I was being myself around him, not being all nervous and all uptight around some of them, But it seemed like every time when I was like with some of them, I would always be a little bit shy or nervous with them just to start off, but then after a while I tend to let my hair down as far as that goes. So it's not like I have problems opening up to people. It's like I would open up to people eventually once I get to know them a little bit more. But I think the thing is just that I have all these little people like going around telling me that I should be careful and blah 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 blah, but it's not like it's not like some of those people who are intent to exploit me would have anything to gain from me. That's truth. And that was kind of one of the things I probably should have mentioned on one of my last voice posts, that all that sort of stuff about every little thing, about myself is eventually going to come out, But it doesn't really matter. I mean, what is it for them to gain as far as stealing my identity, stealing the very essence of me, and all that, It's not like I would pretty much die without all of that essence of me, The that sort of essence of me is stuck to me, like my eye, and then the whole Asperger's and all that sort of stuff. All that sort of stuff that is essentially me is basically stuck with me, and that and then no matter how much they can't really take it away from me, and they can't really suppress it or something like that. It's just there, and then they just simply have to deal with it. But funny how sometimes I have this strange drama with people. It was about like 4 years ago that I probably had some sort of huge drama, there, but it wasn't with, it was with Dad, but I think at this point it was like, Dad, I think, had finally, about this time, like around July or so, he kind of finally realized it was best to back off if he really wanted me to be happy and all that it was best for him to back off a little bit. He was just in my way on all that, but I've already kind of explained it like before as far as I'm not sure about how this thing came to be, So it's just sometimes it's kind of like I hate having to go around and having to explain it over and over and over, So, anyways, as I was kind of saying, I forgot, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. It was one of the biggest drama stuff that I had that one year was not just Dad, but it was not just Anthony, but it was this one guy that I refer to him on my live journal as the Crazy Tim or Crazy Jim, but he was just another one of those aspiring actor types, that I had a bit of a run-in with, I think in some ways all I just said was just hi and how are you and all that, and I think he was just being a bit of a jerk about it, and I think I was just all pissed off at him, and it went in some sort of huge little rant mode and all of that, and then I think later on, I think I just kind of also told one of my friends and told another friend and told one of my friends and then to spread it around about how this guy's a jerk and leave him alone and blah 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 blah, and then it caused his whole potential pool of people around here to dry up. But this one guy, I think he was just from some other place, not from around here, and I think it was within about 4 or 5 months. I think he kind of had to go back to where he kind of came from because he kind of realized it wasn't getting anywhere. But sometimes I think it's just some of those guys just have to be careful about who they reject, and because sometimes that person that they turn down has a lot of friends, and that it can just spread around very easily, especially nowadays with the whole Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, So, anyways, although I think I just kind of wanted to kind of continue on, but it seems like I had to kind of cut this sort of thing short, so talk to you guys later.